Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for my Once Upon a Time recap. So tonight was definitely my favorite this season, and probably one of my favorites for a while. This episode brought all the emotions. I'm sure it did to you guys too. So let's get started. Um, the episode starts off with it's really cute actually. We actually got to see the return of Belle tonight, which is so sweet. I really missed her. She is such a beloved character to the Once fandom and even outside of the Once fandom. It started off with a first birthday, Gideon's first birthday, and Belle's like, she's, trying to plan the party and, everything's not going right, but, Gold assures her that, it's just a 1-year-old's birthday party, everything's going to be fine, and Gold gives her this gift that, Belle's always wanted to travel, so now he wants to be able to take her to see the world, now that everything's quiet now. It's also Halloween in Hyperion Heights, and everybody's dressed up in costume. This character, which we know is Alice, but I wasn't sure what her Hyperion Heights character's name is, and apparently we learn it's Tilly. She's just as a rabbit, and she's kind of taunting Weaver in a way. Ivy is, she's a little pissed that she has to take Lucy trick-or-treating. Jacinda would be more than happy to, but, she has to work at that job, and, But, Alice, is apparently hiding in the back of Victoria's car, and I'd be scared out of my mind if that happened. And yeah, Victoria then threatens Weaver, saying basically that she wants, she was basically saying that Tilly's off her meds, and she wants Weaver to get her to take the meds. And I kept thinking to myself, all throughout the episode, it seemed like Tilly knew a lot more than she's letting on. I'm thinking, maybe did she know something about Rumpel's backstory? And did the pills maybe help her forget? I mean, Tilly kept saying it made her feel smaller. But we see that Regina is, well, I should say Ronnie making this drink, the poison apple for Henry, and I definitely want to try poison apple. That sounds amazing. And it's a nice little homage back to the Evil Queen. Ronnie and Henry talk about lost loves, and that's a touchy subject for Regina, because we all know how every time she's loved someone, how that's gone for her. And Ronnie said that you have to let go of those ghosts and move forward, and you could definitely tell, even though Ronnie doesn't know she's Regina yet, that how much she's grown as a character. Apparently Belle and Rumpel have gotten older, and it's not really clear how much time has passed. I'm really hoping Adam or Eddie can really clarify how many years have passed, because they've said only, I believe they said like 10 years have passed, but here Belle is turning gray, so I mean, I highly think Belle would get that gray in 10 years. But, Rumpel loves Belle so much that he wants to give up the dagger for her, so he tries throwing it into this river, but it ends up reappearing, so it didn't really work out for him. Ivy apparently didn't get invited to this masquerade ball, so she's getting stuck trick-or-treating with Lucy, and Lucy is a skeleton, but she couldn't get the kid a skeleton mask. I mean, Victoria obviously has a lot of money. I would have thought they'd be able to afford a mask. I mean, that's not going to look good on their part. But Lucy apparently is trick-or-treating, doesn't get the candy she wants at this house. So she has this other trick-or-treater put on this Halloween bag to, I guess, distract Ivy, and Lucy wanders off. So now Ivy is going to get in trouble by Victoria if she finds out that Lucy's gone. Um, it was really interesting. Alice, or I should say Tilly, all through Hyperion Heights is trying to solve this Rubik's Cube, and what Weaver said it's an impossible puzzle, but Tilly said those are the most fun, and I've tried to solve one of those Rubik's Cubes, and they are freaking hard to solve. Um, Tilly said that at one point, without each other, it's impossible to see the big picture. So that made me think, she definitely knows what's going on here. She's one of the few people, or probably the only person that's actually awake from this curse. So she's basically saying that they need to stand together because, if they're by themselves, they're never going to wake up. Gideon apparently is going to elfing school, so I believe that's what I heard. I'm not exactly sure what elfing school is, but, good for Gideon. I thought it was very cute, though. He was reading a lot of books. You could definitely tell he's Belle's son. I bet you he makes Belle proud. Let me read my notes here. We find out that there is a way to get rid of the dagger. The brightest sun will take the dagger, and it's apparently at this place called the Edge of Realms. So Belle and Gold go there, and I thought it was very harsh. Jacinda said that Ivy has no friends. I mean, that's got to be awful. I mean, obviously Ivy's stuck at her job and stuck under her mother's thumb. And Henry then tries to help Ivy find Lucy, and they kind of share a moment together where they're talking about each other's baggage, and I gotta say, I kind of do ship Ivy and Henry together. Weaver, well, we see that Tilly says that she remembers who Weaver is, and she's trying to get him to remember, but, Weaver just takes this as Tilly off her medicine. But she says, no, follow me. But when Weaver gives her the sandwich, I thought, did he maybe taint that with her pills? And sure enough, she thought it tasted weird, and he tainted it with her pills. So, literally, Tilly jumps out of the car and runs to this place, which we don't really know where yet. I mean, she mentioned before maybe the railroad tracks, but she's looking to try to get him to wake up and remember who he is. We see that the Edge of Realms, that I guess time runs differently in all these realms. Apparently, like, an eternity there is only, like, seconds in Storybrooke. So that kind of explains the time thing, but not too much. But they're building a house together, and I got chills and got teary-eyed because all I kept thinking of is the beginning scene of Up, when they're building that house together, and then Ellie gets older and she dies, and we see Belle's hair getting grayer and grayer. I'm like, oh my god, don't do this to me. And sure enough, Belle collapses, and I'm like, oh my god, no. Like, we just got Belle back. I mean, I know it was basically, like a flashback sort of, but I wanted Belle to stay. Then we see that Belle's basically dying, and she says to Rumpel that the sun at the edge of the earth wasn't what he thought it was. It's actually when the sun sets, I guess, on Belle's time, then they'll be able to find each other again, and they've been separated before and been able to find each other. But it's, Belle said when the Dark One, finds eternal love, which, that I would assume that'd be Belle and Rumpel. But, then I guess she said then the Dark One can let go of his dagger, so she's telling him to let go, and they played a sequence of all their scenes together, and it was very touching, to see the Rumbell relationship all through the years, and it was very nice that they did that, to see how far they've came and how much their relationship has come. I've at times been a Rumbell shipper, but I've mostly been Outlaw Queen. But I've definitely think that Rumbell's had some of the greatest scenes over the years, and I really thought that it was great of them to have Beauty and the Beast playing in the background, the musical sequence, and I definitely cried when Belle died. That was just heartbreaking. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, their story is truly a tale as old as time. I'm so sad to see Belle go. I'm hoping she comes back eventually, and I'm hoping what Belle said, that they'll be able to find their way back to each other, that, you know, Gold doesn't have to die. I mean, I don't think Gold would die because he's one of the main characters, but I hope that doesn't mean Gold has to die too for them to reunite again. Tilly then says that she was looking for something in this shed, and she finds the ship cup. I'm like, oh my god, like, I thought he was going to wake up right then and there. And sure enough, he doesn't, and Tilly's a little bit confused as to why this isn't working. So she grabs this gun, and Rumple's like, or I should say Weaver, says, why are you doing this? And she's like, because you told me to. So she shoots Weaver, and apparently, they're, well, before I get to that part, we find out that a guardian is destined to hold the dagger. That's how, he can get rid of the dagger for good, and we find out that Alice is the guardian, because when he went to that realm, I guess he was, I don't know if he was in Wonderland or what, because Alice was right there, but it's also when Henry was on his motorcycle and ran into Cinderella, which I'm surprised Rumple didn't know that was Henry, but yeah, I wish they would explain what realm that was in. But Tilly isn't in trouble because Rogers says she wasn't in her right mind, but we see that Tilly and Rogers are playing chess, so I thought, would that maybe get Rogers to wake up, because the old hook gave him that chess piece, or this is old hook. Lucy was at the haunted house all along. Ivy found her, and I thought maybe they would do some trick-or-treating, but Henry let Jacinda and Lucy have that time. But we see that Victoria visits Weaver in the hospital, and he, at one point, says, you know, you're not gonna use me or hurt me again, dearie. So Weaver is now awake and knows that he's Rumpelstiltskin. So yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite episodes this season. I thought it had great writing. I feel bad for Belle though, but I definitely think I don't think we've seen the last of Belle. I mean, maybe we have. I mean, maybe I'm just kind of in denial right now, but it was truly a beautiful episode. I hope you guys enjoyed Once Upon a Time tonight. The previews for next week show that we're going to see some Tiana's backstory, which is good because we haven't really heard much about her other than that she's Jacinda's friend. And Dr. Facilier is coming, and he was creepy as hell in The Princess and the Frog, so it'll be very interesting to see how he ties into the Once Upon a Time tale of Princess and the Frog. And we see that Ronnie goes into this vault, and she finds the heart that used to be in Regina's vault, and she sees a picture of her and Henry when Henry was younger. So I'm wondering, is Regina now going to wake up now? Because that would be like awesome and very interesting. And she even shows the adult Henry now this picture. Like, she said, how can this be? So yeah, I can't believe Once is a week away. I'm so excited for next week. So if you guys want to check out Once Upon a Time, it is on Fridays, 8 p.m. on ABC. Till next time, stay regal.